What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another edition of Action Sunday. And this week, I'm looking at another franchise retrospect. That's right. So this week and next week, I'm going to be looking at the Mission Impossible franchise. Why the heck not? I've been putting this off for some time, so I finally decided, why the heck not? How about I just do this right now? So I decided to split up into two parts. So this week, I'll be going to be looking at one set of movies, and next week, I'll be looking at another set of movies. So believe it or not, this technically makes today the first ever triple feature on this channel. So, yeah. So, I decided to review the first three today, so might as well get into that. So, anyway, let's talk about the Mission Impossible franchise in general. So, what makes it so special? Well, the fact that it's based on the television show of the same name back and it came out in the 60s. Pretty fun stuff. I bet you guys didn't know that. Got a bit revival back in the 80s, but it didn't last long. And then finally it got pulled off the air. And then finally we had to wait until like the 90s until finally 20th Century Fox and Tom Cruise decided to team up and present us this pretty cool badass franchise. The first one came out in 1996. The plot of the first one is really interesting, so I don't want to give too much of the story away. For those of you that are not familiar with the franchise, but if you aren't, where the hell have you been living? But anyway, so the nitty-gritty of this plot is, there's a list called the knock list. I forget what the full technical term is. What is it's kind of like witness protection program, but it's for like former or disavowed agents. Supposedly it has like their code names and their real names kind of thing. And supposedly after a mission gone wrong, the knock list is stolen and it's out in the open. And Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, his job is to find it, retrieve it, and bring it back. So that kind of thing. And it's a really interesting thrill ride. I don't want to give too much of a story away, but I will praise the movie for one thing. It had a great cast. The character of Jim Phelps was played by John Voight, who another legend who I have so much respect for, since he's pretty cool. He's a cool stand-up guy. So he plays Phelps. We got Tom Cruise, who plays Ethan Hunt. The rest of the cast was just amazing. You have Ving Rhames, who plays Luther, and he becomes a recurring character throughout the entire movie franchise. Jean Reno's in it. Emilio Estevez, Vanessa Redgrave, Kristen Scott Thomas. My goodness, so like you got some really good names of who's who of some American actors and some British actors, or who've been famous on both sides of the pond. If you want to get technical, I don't want to give much of their characters away, but Vanessa Redgrave, she plays the character of Max, because her character is one of the focal parts of the story, where supposedly he thinks that Max might have some information pertaining to who has a knock list and possible the mole inside the CIA and IMF, so that kind of thing. So yeah, spoilers ahead. I don't want to tell you what happens, but you guys see it for yourself. And yeah, I thought this was just one of those cool moments where, yeah, like it gets better as the movie goes on. It sure does. The stunts in this movie were just crazy. The scene when Ethan Hunt gets descended into the supercomputer in Langley, I thought, wow, that really was one tense moment, because I remember that the build up to that scene was okay. It's locked in this certain room. It's got all this levels of security, it's got temperature sensors, it's got noise and all this. I'm like, wow, damn. It's like they run a tight ship, the CIA. And of course, then Hunt figures out, oh shit, now I got to go in there. But of course he knows how to get around it. So I'm like, wow, man, the CIA really sucks at their job. Sorry if I offend anyone, but hell, it's a pretty cool moment of that entire movie. And of course, the final train scene, I don't want to give away. If you've seen the movie, holy shit. I remember seeing that. I was like, dear Lord, that was awesome. But another thing that drew me to the franchise was the cool gadgets. The explosive gum. I thought, woo, that'd be pretty cool. That would be a great secret agent's dream, to have like explosive gum to get you out of sticky situations. All you gotta do is red light, green light, stick it, throw it to like a window or something, bam! There you go, you have a jam. They have the face maker, which I thought was cool as heck. Having the ability to make a mask of an actual person and then impersonate them. I thought that was possibly the most awesomest thing, and possibly the most trademark thing I remember of this entire movie franchise. And like they milked the heck out of it in this one, but the sequel milked the hell of it even more. And I thought it was like a little oversaturation of that, but it was still a cool gadget to have, which I'm going to get into momentarily. So yeah, not much else I can say about the first one. there's only two things that stuck my craw. The fact is, at some points in the movie, it kind of comes to a grinding halt. And I'm like, oh, come on. Where's it going from here? What do they want to talk about? I'm like, just keep going. And the other thing I really hate is the character of Kittredge. He's Ethan Hunt's superior, and he's played by Henry Searsney. I believe that's how you pronounce the guy's name. And of course, what sticks in my craw is this guy has been typecasted in not just this movie, but in Queer and Present Danger too. He played, say, director of Ops, Bob Ritter. Yeah, I believe that was his title. Yeah, that was his title. And I'm like, wow, is he cuckold in this role? Like, he's like, okay, it's a position of authority, but at the same time, he's like, oh, he's got a treacherous, like, evil side. I'm like, what the hell? It really stuck in my craw. I'm like, it's like, okay, we get this character. He's guy trying to go by the book, but it's like you love to hate him. But yeah, aside that, it's the first movie is still an amazing, good action set piece. Mission Impossible 2, on the other hand, I both loved and hated it at the same time, because over time, after repeated viewings, I'm like, okay, the story had a great premise, but the one thing is, this movie was directed by John Woo, and of course, his trademark was the intense, like, dramatic close-ups. I think, or slow-mo motions. I think oversaturation of that in this movie, I think was a little much. Like, I'm like, seriously, what was there to add to it? I'm like, it's good for dramatic effect, but when you kill it to death throughout your movie, it gets people annoyed. But hey, it was still fun. The plot of Mission Impossible 2, I'm gonna try to get this simplified. So, supposedly there's a deadly virus called the Chimera virus, and somehow, this disavowed agent named Sean Ambrose somehow gets hold of it. By impersonating a Hunt. Yes, that was the big shock thing I remember watching at the beginning of this movie. I was like, wait, why is Ethan Hunt meeting with this guy who injected himself with this, and the creator of this virus? Why is he talking to him? What's going on here? Then all of a sudden, oh my God, didn't see that coming. I was like, wow. Incredible. But hey, this movie had so many twists and turns, but had so much good moments. But like the last act had the best action. Like there's a crazy ass motorcycle chase, a fight on the beach with a really cringy moment where like literally the knife, Sean Ambrose tries to kill him with a knife, and like the knife was literally just inches from his eye. I'm like, good Lord, how? Good. I'd be covering my own eye. just by watching that scene. But still, yeah, I kind of like the plot of it. But like I said, I think just parts of the movie kind of brought it down. But the final act really brings together and just makes you say, okay, yeah, good mission accomplished. So that's it. But then I realized, okay, I thought there was just going to be two movies, but nope. We waited for another 5 years. In 2006, Mission Impossible 3 came out, and I'm like, okay, where are we going to from here? So, but now the plot is a little different. So now Hunt is now like, he's retired from the field, but he's trained a few agents. Somehow, and one of his prodigies, Lindsay Farris, played by Kerry Russell, somehow she gets captured by this guy named Omen Davian, who is essentially like this big, well-known arms dealer, and he's possibly, in my opinion, one of the best villains I've ever seen this entire franchise, in my opinion. It's like perfect mind games, and Philip Seymour Hoffman played this villain to a T. And the rest of the plot goes, it's really interesting. So the whole thing is that he's trying to get a hold of something called the Rabbit's Foot. And of course, that was the whole big thing on my mind. Was like, okay, what is a Rabbit's Foot? Is it a weapon? Is it a computer virus? What is it? And like, if you keep watching it, you'll finally find out. So if I had to think about this movie, I thought this was slightly better than the second one, but I didn't think it was on the same level as the first one, because the first one I thought was good. The sequel, Mission Impossible 2, was all right, but this one kind of brought it back up to me. I'm like, yeah, this was awesome. And like, there was some really thought out, good, well missions. I love the rest of the cast. Maggie Q was in it. Billy Crudup, I think how you pronounce it. He did a good job playing this guy named Musgrave, who essentially Hunt's now new superior. And they have Lawrence Fishburne playing like his higher up, Brassel. That's the guy's name. I'm like, wow. Man, so much chain of command. It's like, who do you report to? My God, that's like one crazy like chain of command branch that you would probably have to write up on a business plan if you had to figure out, okay, who gets which title. But hey, it was still fun. Also, I forgot that Simon Pegg was in this movie. I'm like, wow. And he would become the second recurring character throughout the rest of the franchise. So you had Luther, played by Ving Rhames. Then you had Simon Pegg, who played Benji. So yeah, these characters were really good. I thought these guys were possibly the best, like I would say, MVPs of the entire franchise, because it's like, okay, we got to cope with Hunt's antics again. So here we go, and it just goes to show. What else can I say about Mission Impossible 3? The final act was kind of a letdown, but at the same time left me happy, saying, okay, this is it. This is the life he wants to live. He wants to get away from being the field agent. He wants to get out of the line of fire, so he wants to settle down with his girl Julia, played by Michelle Mahan. Great stuff. But yeah, kind of left the door open for sequels, but of course I didn't expect there to be more sequels after this. So yeah, and then we're going to get into that more next week. So if I do pick if I had to rate all these, so I'm going to say this. So the first one, great masterpiece, good stuff, really make me say this is awesome. And I remember my brother and I falling in love with this franchise since we were kids. So I'm going to give the first Mission Impossible movie an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give the sequel a 6. And I'm going to give Mission Impossible 3, I'm going to give it a 7.5, because I feel like, okay, started strong, kind of went down a little bit. It started to bring up thanks to some good writing by J.J. Abrams. So yeah, that goes to show that Tom Cruise is fully invested in this, and it just goes to show where love them or not, and take your pick on which ones you want to see. So yeah, all right. So that's it for this week for part 1 of my Mission Impossible retrospect. Stay tuned here for more awesome videos and part 2. Want to see you, everyone.